My intention for this video is to test the database installation and run some MySQL queries after connecting as root of MySQL. From my video called Loading a MySQL Dump File and Course Directory in the playlist Beyond Basics of PHP, this is the command to load a MySQL dump file. In other words, a file, it would come from phpMyAdmin. I would log into a database or open up the database that I want to dump and then export the data. And the data would be as SQL. So it would be ready to be imported by a MySQL database management system on a different computer. So once I have that data in a file, I can put that file on the server where I want to import it and then use this command over here. The command is mysql-u root --password equals, and then the password for root, and then buscompa, which is the database I want to import that data into, and then the dump file. Now, to log into MySQL as root for an interactive session, the command is mysql-u root without a space, and then -p followed directly by the password without a space, and then hitting enter. However, there are several ways to do it. This is one way. If I do -p and then just hit enter right away, it'll prompt me for the password and the password will be hidden. There's a third way, which is to use --password equals and then the password. Alright. A semicolon must terminate each MySQL command in interactive mode. To exit interactive mode, the command is either exit or quit. Here's the show databases command. Create databases, or create database and then the name. Notice all of them end in a semicolon. Then to switch to a database, there's the use name of database. To drop a database, drop database, name of database. To create a user on the system, the command is create user, name of user, at localhost identified by, and then the password you want that user to have. There's something to note here, which is the localhost that is specified here will cause this user to only be able to access the database locally. I think if you wanted it to be from a remote location, you would use a %sign, or if you wanted it from a specific domain, you would have that specific domain name right here. Okay? Now, there's also a grant command, and the way it's shown here is not correct, okay? There's some extra stuff because apparently that was an example I got from the internet, and the guy combined the creation of the user with granting privileges to a particular database for that user. He combined all of that into one command, and it doesn't work that way. So if you want to have this user that you already created grant him or her privileges on a database, you would use grant all privileges. You can skip the word privileges. You could just say grant all, and then on, and then the name of the database, and then a dot asterisk. And there's no space between the name of the database and the dot asterisk. That means you're giving all privileges to all the tables in that database. And then you have the word to, then the name of the user, at, and then his domain or her domain. This part is the part that shouldn't be there because you're not creating a new user right here. To show the privileges for a particular user, use this command, show grants for username at localhost, semicolon. After changing the privileges, you want to flush privileges, and this is the command to do it. The steps above are the routine for creating a new user to use a particular database. Each project should have its own user and its own database. For more gems like this about interactive MySQL, see the playlist called PHP MySQL Basic Course Notes. And there's also a Stack Exchange article here, which was very useful. It talks about an important topic here, which I've always been confused about, which is when to use single quotes, double quotes, and backticks. And the best answer given is right here. Backticks are to be used for table and column identifiers, in other words, table and column names, but are only necessary when the identifier is a MySQL reserved keyword or when the identifier contains white space, characters, or characters beyond the limit set, see below. Below is this thing. Characters requiring backtick quoting in identifiers. These are the ones all the other ones are not. Single quotes, as opposed to the backticks, should be used for string values like in the values list. Double quotes are supported by MySQL for string values as well, but single quotes are more widely accepted by other relational database management systems, so it is good habit to use single quotes instead of double. MySQL also expects date and datetime literal values to be single quoted as strings like this. So using your example. So here's an example. See? The table name has backticks. The column names have backticks. The values use single quotes. I need to try to see if I have MySQL installed. I'm logged into the production server, and I'm going to try to log into the MySQL client. MySQL-u root-p, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then type in the password. All right, then I hit enter, and I'm logged in. Let me run the command show databases. So I can see that this is a fresh install here. So I don't have any other database. All right, let me exit and log out.